Okay, there's a lot of rumors about KD and Kyrie to the Knicks. If you're a Knicks fan and you're watching the Celtics last night, don't you kind of feel like we got our guy?
No question. No, Kyrie doesn't fit into what they do, right? They want to play egalitarian type basketball.
Yes.
He's an ISO celebrity superstar, and it's just not the greatest fit. And now you didn't go, and look, the East is so much better than it was last year. So I understand Milwaukee was not half as good as they are now. That's who you struggled with to beat last year in the first round. Philadelphia wasn't half as good as it is now. You beat them in the second round. So that Boston team was overrated because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. However, the young kids who are there, Tatum, Brown, Rozier, they still feel like they're going to feel like we got further without Kyrie. Right? We got first. So
that resentment's hovering around that locker room.
No question. And so that's how they're going to feel. So it's a perfect time. I said last time I was on the show, Toronto's making it easy for Kawhi to leave. It's the perfect situation for Kyrie to leave. Now, remember, Boston wasn't on his list when he told Cleveland he wanted out to begin with. New York was, and I think you disagree, but Kyrie and Durant would be a great tandem in New York.
Let me just throw this at you. You know, there's an old saying, Joy, you've heard this as well. Don't go to the supermarket when you're starving because you end up getting home to have dinner and you have Reese's Cups and Doritos Ranch Chips. You'll make bad decisions. Starving equals desperation, and you make bad choices. So the Knicks were desperate and then gave Amari Stoudemire a 5-year deal with those bad knees. Nobody else would. And then they were desperate and traded away everybody to get Carmelo. Nobody else would. And Knicks fans lectured us on how smart they were, and the Amari Melo deals were not good deals.
Right.
They're a starving franchise here. The Knicks are, don't go to the supermarket when you're hungry because you end up with Reese's Cups and nothing to make for dinner. Kyrie Irving.
Okay, you're not saying that about Durant.
No,
Okay,
Durant
is filet mignon, right.
Okay, Durant's great. Kyrie Irving, hurt at Duke, hurt a lot, hard to coach, ISO player. By the way, Durant played with a ball-centric guard in Oklahoma City and got tired of it.
Where I will give you a little something is the injury history of Kyrie. However, it's not like Amari Stoudemire. He's fine this year. He's playing his whole year. He looks good. And there are other, like Stoudemire, nobody else was going to give him a long-term max deal like the Knicks did. There are other teams that would sign Kyrie in a second. The Clippers, the Celtics, like everybody, he's not as damaged goods, if you will, as Amari Stoudemire was. So It's a little something in the back of your mind, but it certainly wouldn't stop me. And he's not Russell Westbrook in terms of ball dominance.
And he's also a better shooter.
He's a better shooter. He plays smarter. You know, he's more of a point guard, even though he's not like a true point guard. He's certainly more of a point guard than Westbrook. And if Durant could succeed, and they did succeed. I know they didn't win a championship, but he and Westbrook had success. If he can have success playing alongside Westbrook, he can fit with Kyrie. On the other end, Kyrie is a number 2. We see it clearly. We've seen it all year. We're seeing it in the playoffs. He's a stone-cold killer. He may be your closer, but he's a number 2. And most guys historically who've been his size are number 2s.
They don't want to admit it.
There's like 2 I can name, that Isaiah Thomas, the legend, and Steph Curry. Other than that, who was a number 1 that size that was going to lead me to a championship?
No, I think it's very fair. 6'4" and under guys. Steph's an outlier. Isaiah's an outlier. Let's go to the Rocket series. Listen, I know Houston feels good about themselves. They got the champs tied up. But if I'm Golden State and I look at how we played, and we shot 24% on threes, and Klay Thompson and Iggy were bad, our bench gave us nothing, and we came within an open jumper of tying it to overtime, I feel great if I'm the Warriors today.
I don't feel great. I get where you're coming from. They can look at Klay. Klay's due. We know Klay's going to catch fire. Steph was due, right?
Steph and Claire both do.
I told people and Steph played well last night. I know he had his moments where he disappeared, but he 30 points, 12 for 25 shooting. So he was good. Klay is due. I get what you're saying. However, I don't think either of these teams has an advantage at this point. I don't want to hear about the Golden State's home court. Okay, yeah, whatever. They lost twice to the Clippers at home. Okay, they can be beaten in Oracle. So I'm looking at this like I think it's a pick 'em. For these this series is now I picked the Warriors, and I'm sticking with my pick of the Warriors, but I won't be the least bit surprised if Houston gets them.
By the way, a lot of fans out here, they're tired of the Warriors. So you want the next great champion to be the floppy McFlopsters.
Let me say, well, I'm glad you brought that up. I want the Warriors because I picked them. You know how we are. We want our picks to be right.
Right.
I am different from most NBA fans. I love watching James Harden play. I know everybody, he over dribbles. Yeah, but he doesn't over dribble like most. When LeBron over dribbles, he's on the wing, pounding it for 10 seconds just to pound it, not going anywhere. When Dwayne Wade would over dribble, he'd be dribbling all over the court. Where am I going to make my move at? Harden is dribbling with a purpose, between the legs, behind the back, feints, slides, to get you. And how am I going to get by you? Am I going to step back? His over dribbling is fun to watch. I was watching that last night. 7 times this dude had me falling out of my chair. Kevin Looney, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, all good defenders, all athletic, all long. And this slow dude gets off a shot and hits a 3 over a 7-footer with outstretched arms. I mean, he's unbelievable, man.
He is an unbelievable talent.
I love watching him.
Okay. He can wear me out.
I convinced you. I see.
No, I don't hate Houston. They really listen. What they're doing is analytic. Get to the free throw line. I don't think all dynasties are fascinating. I've said this about college football. USC dynasty and the Miami Hurricanes dynasty were great for college football. Bama and Clemson, especially Bama, can be a little boring.
Right.
They shut everybody down. It's not that like Spurs Duncan dynasty. Houston, there's a sense of manipulation in this process that I think wears out a lot of people.
I don't want this to be the future of basketball.
That's what I'm saying. They've already shot 55 more threes than the Warriors.
Than the Warriors. Think about the Warriors, who are the best shooting team in history.
Yeah. I mean, Clint Capella is a good player. They can't get him on the floor in the series, and I like the layers of basketball. Let me shift to this. People think I don't like Kawhi Leonard. I do. Basketball has a history. There's 2 types of stars. There's the playmakers, Magic, LeBron, Steph. On their best nights, the team flourishes. Then there's isolation guys, KD, MJ, Kobe Bryant. Kawhi's got a feeling like that. Kawhi doesn't pass.
MJ, you don't want that?
Well,
his team didn't flourish when he was in his best.
No, but what I'm saying is,
you shouldn't have put MJ in there.
Well, if MJ had 50, they were often better when he had 30. Like, certain guys are get-a-bucket guys. They're not playmakers. Kawhi's a get-a-bucket guy. Do you know the Warriors have a losing record when Durant scores over 40?
Yep.
And I'm not saying Kawhi's not great, but he does feel sometimes like he's just getting points for Kawhi.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you. All those guys you mentioned, Kawhi, Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, they could fit into a system. Kawhi makes other players better because, number one, he's going to give you 30 or so some odd points. He's going to play great defense, and he's going to do it within the system, which means he doesn't take away, and he's going to do it efficiently, shooting 62% in this series. You know, he's over 50%. He's going to do it efficiently, which means I don't have to take a ton of shots to get my points, and I do it within the system, so I'm not taking away from your stardom. LeBron is obviously, a better player historically than Kawhi, but LeBron becomes the system. LeBron makes average players who can't really do much on their own much better. Kyle Korver, Shane Battier, and old Ray Allen. Guys like that. Did he make Chris Bosh better? Did he make Dwayne Wade better? Mm-hmm. Did he make Kyrie Irving better? He's so good that you'll be in position to do what you do and shine at the tight in the finals, but he doesn't make those guys better. He becomes the system and dominates the ball, and he's a willing passer and a great passer, so you'll get your opportunities if you're the second guy. But that third guy, Kevin Love, Bosh, you kind of back up. So I think those guys, Durant, the one thing, LeBron's better than Durant. Not now necessarily.
Holistically,
but, right.
Yeah.
But the thing Durant has over LeBron, or one of the things, is he can fit into a system. He fit seamlessly into Golden State.
That's fair.
Every once in a while, he gets in his ISO, but for the most part, he fits. When Kawhi goes to the Clippers, Are you concerned at all about how it's going to fit?
No, he'll
right. He fit with the Raptors right away. If LeBron goes somewhere, everything changes. You got to adjust to LeBron. Now, he's a willing passer. He's going to, do his thing, and you're going to be good, but you got to adjust. So I think those guys do. And Michael Jordan, every championship in a system. Think about that. The triangle.
Listen to this. Got a minute left. Klay Thompson's dad played for the Lakers. Dad works for the Lakers. LeBron has said he'd love to play with Klay. Yesterday, a story comes out from Woj that he would prefer the Clippers over the Lakers. So let's add this up. Paul George, born in Cali Laker fan, chose OKC. Monty Williams chose the chaotic Phoenix Suns. Klay Thompson now would rather play for the Clippers. And DeMar DeRozan went to USC, loved the Lakers, stayed in Toronto. We got ourselves a problem here, right? Who's ending up out here? You do not have the pieces to trade for Anthony Davis. Is LeBron going to wake up on July 5th and have Kyle Kuzma as his best player?
Look, Anthony Davis, because if Kyrie leaves, is Danny Ainge giving up Jason Tatum for what could be a one-year rhythm?
If I have to go through Giannis to win the East, I'm going and getting Anthony Davis.
Okay. So
I'm looking at Giannis.
So I'm just saying, I agree they're not in the driver's seat to get Anthony Davis.
Okay, so if not,
they'd have a shot.
Now they're in the Hail Mary for Jimmy Butler.
Right. Jimmy Butler or Kimba. But here's what, if LeBron, this is what you want from LeBron next year. LeBron has got to, and I know he understands, you need a superstar. Everybody's had superstars when they win for the most part in NBA history. But he's got to backtrack and get rid of that mentality and say, whatever we have, go back to your first years in Cleveland. Whatever we have, I'm riding or dying with. If my nucleus is Kuzma, Ingram, Josh Hart, whoever, we can win. Heck, the Portland Trailblazers or Denver Nuggets are about to get to the Western Conference Finals. They don't have great, superstars. I mean, they got a couple stars, but they, you know what I mean? Like, Lillard's the only all-star, as good as C.J. McCollum is. Jokic is the only all-star. Jamal Murray's blossoming. But I'm just saying, LeBron has to take the mentality.
Be more optimistic.
Those Lakers could have been, they beat Portland in the regular season. You don't think these Lakers with LeBron could have been as good as Denver or Portland?
Well, I'd like one more player. I
get that.
They don't shoot threes, Chris. I need a guy. I got Denver. I got Jamal Murray. I got Portland. I got C.J. McCollum. They don't have any shooters. You got to give me a shooter.
Ingram's can give me 20-something. Kuzma can give me 20-something.
Oh, I'm tired of that.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying they're a championship team, but like I said preseason, the Lakers could have got to the Western Conference Finals. Without all the drama, without all the angst, without everything that went on, LeBron's injury, they could have been as good as Portland or Denver.
And Denver have three-point shooters. You got to give me a shooter.
I'll give you that, but they would have had LeBron. The Lakers would have had LeBron.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.